it's Trina with Redneck Rhapsody. I'm going to be working on some bows today for some fall decorations. I happened up on a really cool lantern that Home Depot had marked down today. So I'm working with different types of ribbon. I don't know what I'm putting inside of it yet. Haven't decided which way I'm going to go. So I'm going to make a bow with 2 different ribbons, and we'll see how that turns out. And then I have one that we're going to do some kind of mixed, like more the linen and a holiday looking one. Well, actually just a fall looking one. I have a couple of the Chanel stems, or pipe cleaners as we always called them as kids growing up. What I did was try to pick some that matches my colors. I have figured out that if you're a crafter, everybody makes bows different, just a little bit. So I may not make mine just like you do yours, but I hope that I'll inspire some of you that won't even try, because I'm not a great bow maker. I'm just an okay bow maker. So I take mine and I gather it in between my fingers, and I try to make my smaller loop to the front, go a little bit smaller ones on the front. When I have trim like this ribbon, I don't know how well it's showing up in there. It has like a beaded trim on it. So it's not wanting to twist. Usually I twist, but I'll just keep it pinched since it's not wanting to twist. And it looks like this bead has been turned up on the material when it's been stored. And those are 2 of the smaller loops. And I'm gonna work this together at the same time. And it does get a little bit difficult somewhat on your fingers. And since my last piece goes this way and this one started over there, I'll probably make this one start opposite. Nah, I'll just let it go that way. I'm right-handed, so it makes me almost crippled when I'm trying to do things like that, backwards. And I do another small bow, a small loop, and I'm twisting it before I do my next one, which a lot of people twist this one and then go over there. I found it doesn't make that much difference once I get it tied off, that you can tell which way I've twisted it. But I want to alternate my loops like this. And I make them a little bit, I gradually make them a little bit larger as I work towards the back of what's gonna be the back of the bow. And we're gonna go back and pick this one up. And if you get a grain of ribbon that has the exact same thing on both sides, it's a lot easier when you're doing all that flipping and twisting to not have it get upside down to where one side's dull and one side's shiny, if that matters on your ribbon. So your twisting and flipping matters a lot more when you're doing that. So I have 4 on each side, and I try to keep it at about 6 or so, 6 loops, so 3 and 3, 4 and 4. That's a good number, but since this is going to be for a larger project, I'm going to go ahead and pick up at least 1 more of the brown. That's, there again, a little bit larger loop. And I'm having to be cautious of it because it does have a plain side and then like a satiny side. And it gets a little difficult for your fingers. If this was a big mesh bow, I would also use probably a zip tie, because it pulls it a lot tighter and I can make the bow have a lot more personality when I do that. And this looks to be a pretty good color match for my bow on that Chanel stem. And I just take it and just twist it really tight a few times. And then I get to where I want to see how long, and I always make sure that where I started on these two that started, that my other ones are going to end up where I have ribbons that hang down both sides. Don't end up with a lopsided bow where you don't have even loops and even tails hanging down. And it's up to you on whether you want to cut them to match or not. I kind of try to, like, if the plaid one is shorter, I make it a little bit shorter. And these are crafting scissors. And what I'm gonna, and this depends on if you want your bow on a slant or if you want it to have the little V look. But don't take a pair of good scissors if you're using wired ribbon and expect them not to dull and get yucky. And like this one had been cut out the last time opposite, so I'll just fold it over and trim it down to where it matches and they both have the same cut. I have not cut this ribbon before and it's just got like a slant cut to it. So we're gonna see how well these little beads cut, because that was probably the end of a brand new roll that I've started with. If I cut it, it's been a long time ago, and no, they don't like cutting and they're slinging everywhere. And I'll probably have to straighten that up because those made it cut really jagged. But it's just trimming, it's easy fixes to make it look finished and pretty. And also, I will tell you, if you want, I kind of want those the same size, so I'll kind of hold them up and see where it would make it be the same size. And if you want the V going down, you cut down on your, away from the bow you're wanting. And working to make sure I'm in between those beads is working a lot better that time. So that's the look you have. And if it's going somewhere that it will be noticed, you can take it and wrap your center and tie that off if that matters. You can have your center of your bow like that. You can also make it to where you have extra tails and just wrap that back here in your chenille stem. If you want a bunch of extra tails hanging down, just cut them and wrap them back here in that. I think with this going over my lantern, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, because I may add flowers and some different things in if this is the one I go with. But I can always come back in with my ribbon. And I don't know if that's, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's not arranged perfect because I don't know exactly which direction I'm going. But that's that color. And let's see what we can do to make this other one real quick. I don't think I like the green with this because it has this fall ribbon has a little bit more, it took a little bit of a blue where you can see my shirt behind it. And when I put it with the green, that doesn't make me happy. And if it doesn't make me happy, it means I probably won't use it. So I may work the orange in, and I have the raffia, some of the dried raffia, if I wanted to put that in there, but I don't know if I will or not. Sometimes using mixed stuff makes me really happy, and sometimes it does not. So to get this one started, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that because it's messy and liable to hang and stuff. So that piece is ready to go. And this is already cut from being done before, and the wire's sticking out, so I'm just gonna bend that up. And if you wanted to, you could always take and put a little bit of super glue on that, or maybe even Mod Podge. I haven't ever done that. I've just always bent mine because it didn't matter that much to me. So I'm gonna start with this one. And I just take it and gather it. And like I said, in school I learned, floral school I went to, I learned you twist your bow then, and then bring it over. And twist your loop, but that really does not work that well for me. If it does for you, that's great. I usually twist mine on this end before I start again. But I do want to work this end with it. So I'm going to make it be the back one on that piece. And it's so thick and such a heavy kind of burlap type linen. I don't know exactly what you call it, but anyway, that's what it looks like to me. It's so thick and heavy, you're not going to be able to get it twisted well. It's going to be more of just a gather and hold, or if you wanted to, you could run floral wire through it and gather it. That's completely doable. And there's a lot of videos out there to probably show you how to do that. I'm not going to sew, so that's probably too close to sewing for me. You can sew it and pull it and it will gather it. You would just take a thread and needle and run it through this and let it gather it up, pull it tight, and it will hold it, and you could sew a bow actually. Yeah, I'm not going to do that probably. But now I have two tails on this one end because that was a piece off of a roll that I had left, but I have another piece left. So I know that this time I will go this way with that, but I need to work another one of this color in, and I'm going to go behind those and make my loop a bigger one, working my way to the biggers at the back. And I know some people start with the big at the front and work their way, and then they flip it in the end. But that doesn't work real well for me, and my fingers are getting tired. So we will take this and make sure that we start the tail hanging on that side this time. Put a bigger loop of that back here. Not too big, you don't want to oversize everything too much. And it needs to have one more loop to make it even on this side. And then I don't know, I may just wrap this around it at the end and bring it, the tail back around. I'll show you in just a second. But with that, I think I'm going to let that, and it looks awful right now, and it may look awful in a minute, but I'm not going to mess with trying to put the raffia in there due to the simple fact this orange is so big and so bulky and heavy that I just don't know that I can get it to work in here with it. So what I'm going to do, because the chenille's going to show really, really bad on this one, and it doesn't match. I didn't grab orange a while ago when I went back to the back. I'm going to hold it like that. I think I about broke my wire because the orange is so heavy. And I'm going to take my orange and I'm going to wrap it back around my bow. And I will secure it when we get through with a piece of hot glue right there. I don't usually glue stuff, but this is such heavy ribbon that's going to have a piece of hot glue right there to hold that in place. I'm going to go ahead and cut this to where it's at the angle it needs to be. And we're going to pull this. And it'll still get fixed around, because I don't know that it's gonna be the one that gets used because I don't know exactly what I'm putting in my lantern yet. But there are 2 quick, easy fall bows. That turned out really decent. And if I put it on here, it'll get wired around like that. And I'll come pick the camera up where you can see how it turned out looking. Let me arrange it just a little bit where it doesn't look too shoddy for its picture. And when I get it completed, I'll be able to show you all how it looks when I get everything in my lantern that I want for my decorations. So, that's how I make a bow. That's probably not how everybody makes bows. And it may not be the right way to make bows, but that's how we roll with it at Redneck Rhapsody. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Give me a comment, see if you think you can make something that's pretty easy out of a roll of ribbon and a pipe cleaner or a zip tie. Like I said, zip ties are still my favorite, especially on like that orange ribbon. Zip ties would hold it a lot better and tighter. But I appreciate you hanging out with me this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Arkansas. Hope you figure out how to get your bows done for Christmas. And like I said, subscribe down below. We'd love to have you follow our channel, and maybe I can give you a few Redneck Rhapsody tips on other things you have going for the holidays. It's starting to look a lot like fall.